Hey True Northers. So we're going to get started on the get up today. To begin the get up, there is actually a preparatory phase before you start the full movement that you see on all the videos. And it's a key phase that's often sort of glossed over, but very important. To prep for the get up, you first have to do what's called the floor press. So we're going to learn how to do the floor press here, and then we'll move into the get up afterwards. Now, the downside of that is there's a whole step that you have to go through, and it's going to be very meticulous because we want it to be safe and done properly right from the get-go. The upside is that the floor press is not only an exercise of itself, but it leads itself into many other exercises. So not only is it a prep phase for the get up, it's a prep phase for other exercises as well. So in order to demonstrate it and learn it, I've got a couple of different implements here, all right? I've got a very light kettlebell, okay? That's what we're gonna be using only exactly how it looks with the kettlebell, and you can visualize that. But I've also got some bean bags, just little bean bags that I picked up at Canadian Tire in like the outdoor yard game section. They're replacement bags. What I like about these is that they'll force you to do the movement properly. They'll tell you if you're doing it wrong because they'll slip off and fall, but there's no risk or inherent danger. But it gives you something to focus on without having to, try and take on maybe some more weight or a balance that you're not quite ready for. All right, so as they say, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So pay attention to all the points in this demonstration video, and make sure that you've got all steps nailed down before you move on to trying to practice the stages of the get up. There's no harm either if you're already doing later parts of the get up and you haven't learned this properly to go back and relearn it, re-practice it, and just really nail that technique. Whenever you do these things, always be cognizant and in the moment. Don't rush through, don't let yourself get distracted. Use it as almost a focusing tool. All right, so let's get started. In order to set up for the get up, we are going to lie on the side of the arm that we're going to be doing the pressing and movement with. All right, so in this case I'm going to be starting with my right hand, so I'm going to lie on my right side, and that's so that we can see exactly what I'm doing on the video. So you're going to roll on your side. Again, I'm going to start off with the kettlebell so that you can visualize exactly how it's going to work, and then I'll demonstrate it with the bean bags as well. So you lie on your side, all right? I'm stacked right now. I'm stacked over top of my arm. Okay, can you see that? I'm not staggered out like this. The arm's not extended beyond my body. I'm actually right on top of it. Shoulders are set over top, all right? This is in order to put me in the best leverage advantage. The arm is going to act like a crowbar to bring it over. I'm not going to muscle through with my shoulder, all right? I'm going to use leverage to my advantage. So I reach underneath into the handle like so. So bottom hand is the one that's gripping it. It's in through the handle. The other hand goes over top and holds the hand there and gives it a little bit of reinforcement. You take that hand, and I'm going to roll onto my back. My legs and my body are going to move at the same time, not in two separate segments, and I'm going to hold this at my side as I roll to my back. When I get to my back, my elbow is still going to be on the ground, all right, in contact with the ground, and just straight up like a flagpole. So if you watch, I'm going to take a breath, nice tight grip, and now I'm on my back, all right? My elbow is on the ground. My arm, the forearm is straight up, and the bell is resting against my forearm, all right? From there, I'm going to take that second hand and just help guide it up. And now the kettlebell is straight over my shoulder, shoulders in the ground, and I am set up. That was the floor press, and I'm ready to start into the get up, all right? So to put it back down on the ground, I'm going to take two hands. I'm going to pull it back to my side. If I were to let go, you can see the arm is still straight up, the elbow's on the ground. Holding it there, I'm going to roll back and gently put the kettlebell back down. All right? Now, a couple of key points of this. The whole body moves at once, all right? I'm not going here and going like that, because that is very hard on the shoulder, especially when that starts to get heavy. Similarly, I'm not going to lower it and flop to the side.
I roll down, I pull it down and roll to the side with it over top. All right? When I'm done with that, in order to switch sides, I either sweep it over like so and back, or I swivel myself around like so. If I want to pass it over and I don't want to do either of those two methods, I'm going to slide it underneath like this. In all cases, the key part is that that bell never passes over my face. All right, we don't want to try and pass the bell over our face, and we don't want to get into that habit. All right, next, we take the bean bags now, and we're going to learn how to use these. So before you move on to the kettlebell, learn to do it with the bean bags. You take 2, 3 bean bags. You might start with 1 when you can do it with 1 successfully, then you go to 2, then you go to 3. I'm going to work with 3 here just to force a little. And you want to make sure it's a nice flat fist that I'm resting it on. And I'll show you what I mean by a flat fist in a sec. You have that flat fist, you hold the bean bags on top, and you roll to your back. And now, those 3 bean bags are over top of the hand. All right? I'm going to press that up. And you can see it's straight over my shoulder. All right, bring it back down. Again, pressing it straight up and bringing it down. Okay, and then when I roll back to my side, I have to hold the bean bags on here or they're just going to fall off. Just like when I'm holding the kettlebell, I'm just reinforcing. So I roll back onto my side. Again, I'm back over top of my shoulder and I'm square to the bag. All right, when I switch sides to practice it, I'm still going to do it as if it's a kettlebell. I either sweep it over, turn my body around, or sweep it under my legs. All right, now what I was talking about with the flat fist is that you don't want to be balancing it using your thumb or your pinky or both. You don't want to be making like a flat hand like that to try and create the surface area that it rests on. You want it to be a nice tight fist, all right, where the bean bags are resting on. And my suggestion is that as we go through with this, as we continue to practice it, for each stage, you get up to being able to do that stage with three bean bags on your hand before you start doing it with the kettlebell. All right, so run through this for a little while, a few sessions, practicing it until you can get that, you nailed it down, everything is steady, the bean bags don't slip off. When you've got that, come on back and we'll start working on the get up in stage 1.